What's up, everybody? Oh, I don't have my lights on. My name's Indy, and that guy way over there, that's Jay, and in the middle we got Quinn Wageman from Woovit and Triple Point PR, and this is Indie Game Business. Let me turn on my lights real quick.
Welcome,
Tell
Quinn.
us about yourself there, Quinn.
Yeah, so walk us through. The first thing we always want to know is, how did you get into this crazy industry? Because everybody wants to get in it, and none of us that have been in it understands how to get in it anymore. And then just walk us through our career and a little bit of how Woovit came to be.
Yeah, sure. Well, well, first of all, thanks for having me on the stream. Really excited to be here and talking with you guys. So it goes way back. I was in New York City after I graduated from the University of Missouri, just pursuing some work in business. Didn't know what I wanted to do. Had a couple of stints in sales and marketing. Wasn't really enjoying it. And, I grew up playing games my whole life, and just randomly ran into a transplant from San Francisco who was with a PR agency called Conky Communications at the time. Met at a museum, started talking about video games, and she was like, you'd be a perfect fit for this job. You should send in a resume. And I was looking for a transition at the time. It just sounded perfect to me. And so I sent it in, got the gig. And, then Conky Communications, we rebranded to Triple Point 2009. And I've been with the agency ever since, and worked my way up, became a partner at the agency a couple years ago. And that's kind of the backstory.
Awesome.
Nice.
So, Conky, which I remember from back in the day, transitioned to Triple Point, and then so Triple Point hasn't transitioned into Woovit. It's an incubator type thing, right?
Yeah. So Woovit, so we're incubating Woovit. Woovit is a software startup. Specifically, it is a influencer marketing automation startup. We conceived this a couple years ago. Just taking all of our experiences in PR, we felt that there were problems that could be addressed with software. About 5 years ago, we conceived a performance-based YouTube network in which it was called Rooster. And basically, mobile game publishers could put out bids for content creators that stream or create content for mobile games. And those content creators take the bid, and if they create videos, content for it, they could get paid per download through an attribution link. It went pretty well, but we had some challenges with it. We just couldn't scale it, quite frankly. So we exit that business. It ended up getting acquired by another company. And we thought, sort of bigger picture, there must be a bigger opportunity out there in helping us in the PR capacity, but also marketing in general. And that's how Woovit came to be. It's the first initiative was a search engine. The first iteration was a search engine in which it covered Twitch and YouTube. You as a marketer or PR person can go and research, how do I find content creators that are right for my game? How can I pitch these people properly? So that search engine pulled it all together because we saw media lists that were completely shared publicly that we felt publishers and devs were spamming. And that kind of goes against how we approach it from a media relations standpoint. And the search engine was great. It's bringing a lot of publishers in. But we started going back to the drawing board about how we can bring creators on. And that's when we determined that there was really a void in terms of how key distribution was being done and being done well. And so we sort of pivot to what Woovit is now in terms of automating the key distribution process as well as the reporting and the tracking.
So
go ahead,
Andy.
I was going to say, and Woovit, basically what it is I'll talk about it from the influencer side. You sign up, you sign in, you connect your Twitch, your YouTube, your Mixer, your Twitter. Let's see, I'm doing it right now. And then what it does is it shows you a bunch of lists of different games and products. Here, I'm going to post a link in the chat right there. Yeah. And it shows you offers you're eligible for. Let's see, there we go. Right now, there's 395 available is what it says.
Right, because you've got what, 35,000 Twitch followers. You're a partner. The way it works for the content creator, and this really is a platform with the content creator first and foremost in mind. If we're not creating a service that really is an optimal experience for the content creator, they're not going to keep coming back. Without the content creators, we can't bring the publishers and the devs in, right? Like, what's the point?
Right.
So first and foremost, you log in. We don't accept email signups because that's how fakes get through. You must sign in with your Twitch, your YouTube, or your Mixer account information. We use the OAuth secure connectivity and the APIs in order to allow content creators to log in that way. And it's just easy for you to do. You're already logged in, click that button, you're automatically in. Second thing it does is that by logging in with those platforms, we now have your data, a limited amount of data that's fed through the API. But for example, your followership, your average concurrencies, whatever it may be. And that then allows you to qualify for all of these campaigns that publishers set up. And of course, they set their minimum qualifications and everything. And that's where the automation kicks in. If you're a content creator and you qualify for a campaign and you're interested in the game, you get the key immediately. You don't have to email people. You don't have to track down contacts and go through that whole transactional process that could take 24 hours, could take 48 hours. You might request keys and never get a key, thus preventing you from buying a game that you actually want to play. This makes it immediate. And through that automation,
and you can
now
sort
also
through that. That's what's awesome. You can sort through that. There's all the offers. Then you just click only offers I'm eligible for. Bam. And then it's like, bam, you get the key right now. Amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can go start streaming it because, as a content creator, you're thinking, all right, well, I'm interested in this game. I got a stream kicking up later today. What am I going to play? We give you that immediacy. Of course, you got to test out the game, make sure it's not buggy, make sure it's a game that your audience is going to like. But we enforce a quota on content creators, and that's another really unique thing about the platform is that you can only redeem up to 3 campaigns at any given time, unless you deliver a video. Delivering a qualifying video, hopefully good quality video content that the publisher will appreciate, that refreshes your quota. So we make content creators think about, well, what am I really interested in? Because I don't want to waste my quota on it. But we still give a little wiggle room in case the game's bugged out or it's just not a good fit.
All right, which is cool because a lot of other key distribution sites don't do anything like that. So it's kind of a not a guarantee, but it just gives the developer, like, that if someone clicks on that key, it's because it costs. It costs them something. It costs like that slot right there. That if they click on this key and they don't deliver content, well, that's one slot that they lost. But that so it kind of gives the developer peace of mind in the fact that when they hand out keys, that the percentage is probably a lot greater on here that when someone gets a key that they're going to make content for the game as opposed to other places. Right.
And we're very cognizant of the fact that, well, on multiple levels, especially coming from a PR side, we don't blast out keys. We don't just automatically mail merge out to a list of 500 people with the key attached. You're going to be, your people are just going to grab those keys, they're going to add it to their library, or they're going to go sell it on the reseller market. That doesn't help you with little to no intention of creating the content. Secondly, we are cognizant of the fact that of course, there is the element of targeting. You need to do your research. Who's covering games similar to yours? Build a media list of 50, 100 content creator contacts, and a press works in a similar way, and reach out to them in a strategic way, in advance of the launch, under embargo, whatever, and offer it to them with a really well-written pitch, a good headline that gets them to open the email, very short, concise pitch within why they should be interested in the game. And that's the hard work that you got. Everyone needs to do regardless. But then including the link in the platform or up to your campaign directly, so that it eliminates that whole transactional process, which slows everything down, slows getting keys in their hands, the immediacy. But also there's the discovery. I mean, it's really hard for anyone these days, especially indies. I mean, I know there's a lot of press hitting about Steam and all the alternative marketplaces and all this stuff, but just discoverability is tough. How do you get your game in front of a bunch of creators so you can actually scale out beyond the media list that you're trying to build relationships with? That's where Woovit comes in. We have over 8,300 all fully validated, qualified creators in there now. And based on how you see the value of your game, you set your qualifications, and you get it in front of them. Of course, we're offering mechanisms now to feature your game, get more visibility and placement, so you get more sort of impressions on the campaign and hopefully more keys delivered. But ultimately, creators are getting keys for stuff they're really interested in, versus just spam requesting an entire Steam library and having no intention of streaming a game. And that's what we saw as a problem with some other platforms out there.
And that totally makes sense.
Well, and one of the things that makes it hard on developers is there's sites you can go and search Twitch. So if I'm doing a first-person shooter, there's sites that you can go to and find other first-person shooter channels and influencers on Twitch. But when you start getting into like Mixer and YouTube, it gets a little harder. There aren't, as many dedicated ways to go do that. And by using, something like Woovit, it simplifies that search for you. It's like you can quickly find the right people, which is what you want to do. So you're not following up with, 300, 500,000 different influencers.
Right. Yeah, and that was sort of the first step with Woovit, is that more wide search engine. We had, I think we had something like 30,000 channels feeding into it, content and everything, Twitch, YouTube, and Mixer, that allowed you to go and search via keyword and identify those targets and the contact information in some cases where it was publicly visible, and then go after them. In the case of search engine now, so we recently just brought search back into Woovit as it stands now as a key distribution platform. And we cut out all the channels of content creators that are not on the platform. So right now, the search engine only gives you visibility into the creators that are on Woovit, so 8,300 plus, which grows at a rate of about 20 to 30 new signups a day organically. The reason for that is, and that search engine is still available, by the way. It's at woovit.com/search if you want to just check it and see, do some research on what creators are on the platform. But the reason why we integrated search into this versus having a full-fledged wide open sort of search engine is that the next sort of big step for us as a platform is to do proactive offers. So right now it is more of a passive discovery driven experience. You upload your campaign, you get it in front of the creators, and then they see your campaign. If they're interested, they engage with it. But you also have your own tools, your email pitches and all that, to include the link. All those inbound requests that you receive. Hey, I want a key. I'm a content creator, whatever. Send them the link. Automatically screen out all the fake.
Oh.
But
If I get a key.
He's back.
Yeah.
We lost you there for a second, Quinn. I think we lost him again.
Yep.
Hello?
Yeah,
cut out?
Yeah, your signal keeps
going in and out.
Hello?
Hey there.
Hello. I'm back, I think.
You're back.
You lose me?
Yep. You're
Yikes.
frozen in time.
Hopefully no issues. I'm in Northern California, and when it rains, infrastructure basically crashes. So
Blaine, Richard, what's up,
Hey,
you guys?
what is up with you people? When it's raining, it's bad. When it's on fire, it's bad.
yeah,
Is there any
it's a
kind of-
wreck. I'm sorry. It's been pretty good this morning. I've been online for a couple hours now, but I did notice it cut out earlier once too. Anyways, I'm sorry. Where did
Blaine and Richard are in the chat. They're taunting you. There, he froze again. Dang it! He froze again. What's up, you guys?
So,
and
there's back. Listen, Indy, is it possible for you to pull up your Woovit for a demo that doesn't have all your private stuff in it?
I mean, maybe.
yeah, it's there's nothing really private, I think, about the experience itself. If you pulled up his dashboard, he can show you like the games that he took, keys for, a couple of the campaigns that he delivered for.
And I get an unusual high amount of accepted, and that's because I was doing some things on the Woovit channel. So I delivered more than 4.
Yeah, well, so the Indie actually, full disclaimer there. He actually streamed for Woovit for some time, where we would feature new campaigns and new games that were on the platform and stuff. So he's got keys that he redeemed for that, so that we were, giving some love back to the publishers. And that's why his might be a little off, but typically creators, like I said, they have a quota of 3, and thus they're pretty much focused. If they take 3 keys, they got to deliver at least 1 video.
Yeah.
In a lot of cases, deliver more than one video because they're delivering a series of videos. And so all of that is tracked automatically and reported back. Sorry,
really,
I don't know
like,
where you guys lost me before I cut out earlier, but
well, you can like search people. I'm just going to search the word indie, which is not going to bring me up, but look, it has all of the people that have like, oh my god, it's Firefox and Baron Von Games, and this is all content that they submitted, right? That's what all of these are.
Well, not necessarily. So the search engine itself does pull up all of their content for research purposes, and that's where I think maybe you guys lost me. So right now we are more on the discovery-driven component of Woovit, and the next phase being proactive offers, and that's where search is now. So our search engine is going to be utilized in a way that you as a publisher can, based on keywords of competitive games, of genres, whatever, find content creators that are making content relevant to your game, do this research in advance, and you can pinpoint and target all of these content creators, check them off, for example, and then proactively offer them keys. They then receive an email alert that they've been offered a key, that they automatically qualify for it, and they simply log into Woovit and the key's waiting for them. And now the publisher benefits not only from that and the targeting, but the fact that Woovit is a trusted source, and also that it's reporting back videos that content creator now delivers. So that's hopefully coming. It's coming in the coming months. It shouldn't take too long. We're heads down developing that now, and that's sort of the next iteration of the product itself, and really excited about it.
So what's neat is like an influencer can say, okay, well, let's check. And these are the sponsored games that you were talking about, right? That have higher priority.
Yeah. So Woovit is, as I was explaining, Woovit is a free platform, and we're going to keep it that way for, so the small guys up to, the marketers who need to get their game out can utilize this system for the automation. Like, we don't want to put up roadblocks that prevents, more great games coming on the platform and more creators signing up. The longer term vision is, we'll be monetizing in certain ways with premium features. One of those that we first rolled out, which is just recently, is a feature spot. So it's kind of like a banner advertisement, but you essentially can feature your game campaign, and it will appear at the top of the creator dashboard when they log in. And that's surrounded by that big orange border around it. And so you get more visibility. And the beauty of that too is there is a long tail value in that. In that, we have, like I said, we have anywhere from 20 to 30 all validated qualified content creators signing up on the platform every day. They're going to see those featured campaigns. So if you run it for a month, you're going to get several hundred more eyeballs on it. And a good chunk of those may be interested and will likely take the key. That right now is just $59 a month. This is still an open beta. We're playing around with the price points. That has limited inventory, so the more popular it gets, it's likely that that's going to spin out and be of a different price point, but we're still testing that.
$60 a month to promote your game on something that's nothing. That's nothing. Yeah. Okay, yeah, exactly. So, and then there's different requirements. For example, let's look at, how do you pronounce that? Sayuk? I don't know. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. You must already not own it on Steam, because that makes sense. Otherwise, you're just getting a key for your friend. A minimum sub count of 900 for YouTube and a minimum follower count of 900 on Twitch. That's nothing. Those are some really low things, but the developer gets to set those, right? Absolutely. So you as the publisher, like I said, you set up a free account, you go through the campaign creation process. You set the qualifications, and you can choose the platforms. If it is a Steam game, ensuring that they don't already own the game, and setting those qualifications. It can be minimum followers, subs in the case of YouTube, followers in the case of Twitch Mixer. And for the live streaming platforms, we also do offer average concurrent viewers, so that if that's a metric that you want to qualify in terms of engagement, you can set that. And also for YouTube, average views per video, so that, that circumvents those who might go out and, if they want to go spend $50 to buy 10,000 YouTube subs, more power to them. But we can then allow you to qualify them based on average video views. And so we want to give more options. Those qualifications are going to expand in the future. We've got various ideas for it. But the more empowerment we can provide to the publishers to weed out those that might be, have ill intention, or just the publisher doesn't feel provides value on the key being delivered. That's kind of where we want to be.
So Hexed Games asked, who's the biggest creator that's on the site right now?
Well, it's hard to say. I mean, what you can do is you can go to woovit.com/search, and you don't have to put a keyword in. Just hit the search button, and that'll actually pull up all the content creators in the database, and you can reverse filter it by like their audience size and all that, or at least the Woovit search engine in the previous iteration we did that. Also, if you go to the website on woovit.com, on the left-hand side, there's a number there. This continues to tick up every day, 8,307 creators. See who they are. If you click that, this will open up a breakdown of the content creators that are signed up and registered on the platform. Obviously, the bigger guys, they're either focused on one individual game. Even variety streamers tend to not, be bigger than, say, like maybe 1 million Twitch followers. I mean, they're out there. But, that's the top 1%. And frankly, they got managers and they have keys coming to them. They're not necessarily looking for keys. Thus, the weight is more skewed towards more the mid-tier and, the lower audience content creators out there. There's a lot of discussion about macro influencers, even nano influencers. There's a big New York Times feature. And there have been Twitch talks about this. It's not just about hitting the top 1% content creators out there. Of course, if you have IP or a really good game that's got a lot of buzz, pitch them, go after them, do what you can, get the help of a PR agency, whatever. Get your key in their hands. Do your best to go after them. But what about everybody else? It's all the content creators out there that are doing variety games, indie games. They tend to not be as big. And, if they're in the 10,000 Twitch followers, 50,000 Twitch followers, they're still incredibly valuable because they have an audience that's there not just to watch one game or a certain type of game. They're there to watch indie games or a variety of titles. And that's what the platform does. It allows you to use a limited time that you have to scale and to reach many, many more content creators that reaches the qualifications you set versus, the limited amount of time you have in a day to focus on your 50 to 100 content creators that you might be personally trying to reach out to and get through the door.
And it's also proven that the smaller the audience of a content creator, the higher the interaction and the greater the percentage. Like, let's say a big streamer and they've got 50,000 viewers or whatever, and they say, hey, you guys check out this game. There will be a lower percentage rate of people that actually do that kind of thing, as opposed to somebody that is a smaller content creator and let's say has 100 viewers. Their percentage rate, yes, the number is going to be smaller, but if you have a bunch of those smaller content creators, you're going to have a much higher percentage of interaction and people that actually click on the things that the content creators tell them to.
So are we a nano, Indy? We must be like completely and utterly hyper-focused with our 400 followers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, the engagement is high quality, right? So it's about finding the right content creators that is speaking to an audience that is interested in the type of thing that you want to offer. And and it's tough. There's no one answer to it. Every game is different, whether it's an indies putting their blood, sweat, and tears into it, or a AAA publisher, everything in between. There's the genre of the games. There's the quality of the game as well. There's all factors that determine whether content creators are going to find it interesting or not. I mean, if you have a good, decent game and you want to go after one really top tier, high level content creator, and that's it, offer them an exclusive. These are PR strategies that we implement. You got to get it to them ahead of time before the game launches, giving them exclusives. You got to entice them. You got to give them value in taking your key and spending time looking at it. But in general, if you're launching a game, you really need to spread out. You gotta hit so many communities. As I mentioned, there were Twitch talks about this, that really what moves the needle, it's the 80%, right? The lower 80% of Twitch that has communities that they're fostering. And if you can reach, at scale, a massive amount of those guys, you're probably gonna be better off than, just, spending a ton of money with, maybe a select 2 or 3 content creators at the top who probably will require money to cover your game unless you are some AAA IP.
So is there any way to get an idea of requirements that the streamers have? It's like, I know a lot of teams don't have assuming they have the budget to go out and do, legitimate PR and an influencer outreach campaign, they may not have money to pay hundreds or thousands of dollars to some of these streamers. Is there a way to know who's going to want money to do this, or is there kind of like a subscriber or a follower line that you see, and it's like, okay, typically you're going to have to pay influencers who have more than X amount of followers? And is there any kind of guidelines or any kind of way to know that?
Yeah, it is tough to say, because like I said, it depends on the game, and really, where is that stage of their growth? Every content creator, they're looking to build their career. They're looking to get paid for their time. If a game is offered to them and it's not relevant for them necessarily, or it's like, I've got a really busy schedule, they could be they could have 10,000 followers on Twitch, maybe not even partner. And if you offer them a game that, it fits with their audience and maybe fits into their variety schedule, but they're booked up for the next couple of months, but they may be open to potentially paid opportunity, one, because it supports them, but also because they have a little spot in their schedule that opened up. But typically, I think if you were to just give a blanket statement, I would say that you would expect to pay, if you're talking Twitch streamers, like probably, north of 50,000 or 100,000 followers, start having a little bit more negotiation power, because it's time, right? And it's attention that they're giving your game. So I would expect that perhaps that would be the case. But, this is our bread and butter as a PR agency. We pretty much focus on earned media. We're not necessarily 100% in the business of just offering up cash to a bunch of content creators to cover your game. We want organic placements, because it's authentic. It really drives more engagement with the community, and it fits into what their audience wants. So you have to think about strategy. So you got to get the game in their hands early on, before it launches. What is the value that you're offering them? Helping them negotiate the feature placement on Twitch, because they're one of the few to get access to this game. Those are all factors that we implement as an agency, and we have to think about in timing and value. And that tends to circumvent a necessity for payment, even though that's totally up to the content creator. If they find value in getting that game ahead of time and it provides value to their audience, that generally results in no payment being required. But I think in most cases, they're also very transparent. They'll tell you. They'll be like, I'm interested in the game, but I'm busy. It's almost the holiday season. I've got a full deck of games lined up. I'm going to need payment to accelerate this or prioritize it. But you should weigh that carefully, because like I said, is it going to come off right? Is it organic? Are they going to enjoy the game, or are they just going to hate on it? There's a lot of factors that goes into it. So do your homework.
Right.
So
and as a content creator, I'm an advocate for getting even smaller content creators paid for because I think people deserve that. But also from the other angle, I feel like, would you rather pay a content creator that's like, sure, I'll do it for money, and then they play it one time and do their one stream? Or would you rather work with somebody that's like, oh, I freaking love this game, and they want to do it for free, and then that becomes like part of their live stream over time? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like we have content creators now, on the platform who are redeeming keys for the Stellaris Megacorp from Paradox, is the most recent DLC that just went live. We got guys that are already got 10 streams under their belt of 5 hours plus since the DLC started being distributed about a week ago. And so it's stuff like that. You create more authentic engagement. You actually get more content and more community engagement out of that. Now, I'm not against paid placement. There's a time and a place for that. Certain games might need to do that to really break through the noise, and as part of a bigger marketing campaign. But understanding that, the bulk of the indies and developers out there just don't have those budgets. It's better used to be more strategic, to put more planning into it, to leverage the keys that you do have, because those keys, they weren't going to purchase the game to begin with, relatively unknown anyway. It's an incremental cost to you. Just be smart about the distribution, get them in the hands of creators that are in fact interested, using a combination of research, proactive outreach, and discovery, which is what Woovit really provides, but also including that campaign link in your proactive outreach. So you eliminate the whole back and forth over email, the whole transactional process that frankly, it doesn't build relationships. It's a pain in the butt. It just wastes time. And, use that time that you save from that and from the reporting and tracking on more important things for your business, but also for building relationships with creators, communicating them with them in other ways that is more meaningful.
So we had a question, and for the benefit of those who are watching the video later or who are listening to the podcast, which doesn't exist yet, but it's going to soon. And I'm going to put that in there to make it sound like there is one right now. It'll sound really smart in like 3 months. But the question was, is there any chance of mobile game support, or are there no influencers in the mobile game world? And Richard, points out that, Rooster, which was the previous company that y'all incubated, was all mobile streamers.
Yep.
The problem is the quality of the game streamers. It's just not good enough. It's just not good for the channel. But, Andy pointed out as well, he does mobile game streams. So they exist, but it's a different kind of beast.
They exist. In Indy, feel free to chime in. We learned a lot from Rooster. When we put in a lot of hard work to recruit content creators that are doing mobile games. Couple things that we determined is, and this was all with, we had big publishers that were wanting to spend a lot of money and putting money into content creators' pockets so that creators would stream their games. And it was mostly YouTubers. You don't see a whole lot of live streams for mobile games. We've seen companies like Mobcast that has had a really hard time building a streaming platform dedicated to mobile. Even if you look at Twitch and Mixer, there's just not a whole lot of like mobile game live streams happening. And so in YouTube, absolutely, I think there's more opportunity for content creation there. And you have guys like Lonnie Das and others who do good quality mobile game content. But then you have the other types such as Nick at Night and other big name mobile game content creators who are pretty much exclusively focused on, for example, Supercell games. Great games for creating content because it's very strategic in nature. Every experience is different. It's perfect for YouTube videos. You can't beat a level. You can't get over a certain challenge. I go straight to YouTube and I look up that video so I can figure out how to do it. So that informs my strategy. So that makes sense. And they're out there, but they're very limited. If Supercell doesn't already pretty much own them, if you can see their banner on their YouTube channel, if they're a dedicated streamer to a publisher or not, and they vary from that or deviate from that very rarely, or the handful of content creators out there doing mobile. We just found that there just weren't that many. So, for Rooster, we had, I think, about 50 YouTubers. We might have had more on there. But it also just, the quality of mobile games and depth of engagement of the mobile game in terms of the value that it provided the audience, you just don't have a massive amount of mobile gamers going and looking for new games to play and looking to streamers and content creators to guide that. It's a lot of word of mouth. It's a lot of friends telling you what games to play, what's hot, what's buzzing for the year. Every year somebody catches lightning in a bottle and has the next big hit game on mobile. But it's a really tough market to work in. Now, we do offer this capability through Woovit, but games are largely free to play now. Premium games will work through Woovit, I think, so that guys like Indy will see it and be like, hey, this actually looks like a really cool game. Maybe I'll check it out. Maybe I'll stream it. So that opportunity still exists. We all play mobile games. So there's always an opportunity there. There's just not as much movement there. And like I said, for a free-to-play mobile game, the key really doesn't have much value when a creator can just kind of go download it and play it anyway.
There's a question from Thorstag. Is Woovit also listing the streamers that are producing content for the games, providing an avenue for the streamer to get noticed as well? In the search engine area, I know.
The streamers that are producing content for the games, providing an avenue for the streamer to get noticed as well. Yes. So we do have, if you go to woovit.com, so I'll go through a couple of things here. You go to woovit.com, and underneath the 21,000 plus videos been made so far, underneath that, watch most recent videos. Now, this is something we're toying with. This is a feed of all the content being delivered in reverse chronological format. This could get really interesting. We're thinking about maybe building this out, making it more filterable, and making somewhat of a place where you can kind of watch all the latest content. But more importantly, we actually do have public profiles that we just released about a week ago for content creators. Meaning, Indy, I don't know if you're still logged in there, but basically you set your profile public, and you can then create a public-facing page that showcases all your work. for, in general, all the content you're creating across the platforms, YouTube, Mixer, and Twitch, but also the stuff that you've delivered for Woovit. Now, for example, if you go to the search engine, we can see an example of this. If you go to woovit.com/search, and I don't know, let's type in Stellaris as a search term. I mean, you can search really much anything. GameRanks appears as is one of the top by relevance because they're on the platform and they have huge reach. But if you click on that, then it brings up their profile page that is shared publicly if they so choose with the information that they want to display. But this provides a feed of videos that are relevant to that term that you searched for. And this is somewhat of a showcase of the videos that they've delivered. Certainly you as a publisher, if you set up a campaign on the platform, and if you issue a key to a content creator, they redeem that key, we're now crawling that channel automatically. And any video they deliver relevant to your game campaign, is then reported back to you, both on your own dashboard as well as an exportable spreadsheet that contains more information such as a link to the video, their followership, which channel qualified them, their email address as well. So you can follow up with them and build those meaningful relationships that I was talking about earlier, as well as data on the video. How many YouTube VOD views have they accumulated so far up to that point? And also average concurrencies that the stream saw, that the live stream saw, and things of that nature. So it's all fully transparent. That's all part of the.
Excuse me, sorry, I couldn't mute in time.
All good.
I had a question and I totally forgot what it was. So, all right, let's do a quick top to bottom run here, Quinn. I'm a developer. I've got a game that's probably getting ready to hit beta early access, something that's solidly playable.
Mm-hmm.
What steps, specifically do I need to do to go and be ready to go out on the PR side and the influencer side?
Yep.
So could you walk us through, the stuff that you and I know about the, competitive analysis and lists and all that stuff? Let's just do a quick run through on that so, everyone knows from the get-go.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll start with the PR element. So that requires planning and thinking ahead. So, I mean, you should be thinking about what you're marketing and PR as a component of the marketing strategy, what that looks like. 6 months before you release your game publicly, if not further out, a good year out. Obviously, if you're an indie dev, like it's all about the game at the end of the day, but you also have to live, right? You got to put food on the table. And at the end of the day, you hope to make some money from it. So it's worth your time to spend a little of your own time. Talk to consultants, talk to friends, go to Gamma Sutra, go to gamesindustry.biz, read all the articles about how other indies are executing their launches. Now, if you have that time to plan, you have to start doing research. So you know what your game is, what makes it unique and what differentiates it. So start by thinking about what really is the value proposition of my game. Why will gamers enjoy it? It's not just about why you are making it. That's important if you get to that element of telling more of the human interest story and you want to do interviews and stuff. But you got to think, what are the 3 to 5 really simple, dumbed down bullet points of what makes your game interesting and unique and enjoyable? And that's really all it takes. Start there. Based on that, your type of genre and the type of game it is, start doing your research. So number one, press still incredibly valuable. Don't put all your eggs in one basket with content creators. You have to get third-party validation from press. Press are trained journalists that are out there. They're supposed to look at it with a critical and unbiased eye. And they provide a level of information, and especially for anybody doing a quick Google search for your game, that press is going to validate it if it actually performs well with press. So do your research. It's not just the big guys, IGN, GameSpot, and those types, but look up even the bloggers out there who are creating posts on a daily basis, who are writing good, well-informed, professional, well-written reviews, and add them to your media list. Now, there are tools out there, and start building your media list, right? Put it in a spreadsheet, put their name, their media outlet, and add some notes about why you feel they're appropriate. Like they should be covering a similar game to yours or another competitor's game from 6 months, a year ago, whatever. There should be some relevance there. Start building your targeted media list. Don't just buy a media list of thousands of content creators on there. Don't expect to get results, I think, from a service that will spam your keys out to 1,000 2,000 contacts. There aren't that many even in the editorial space writing stories. Like I mean, you're really looking at maybe trying to reach out to 50 to 100 editors that you have identified specifically relevant to your game. Then use tools. There's free plugins. One that I use, let's see, it's called Hunter. It's a Chrome plugin. If you Google search like Email Hunter, you add this as a Chrome extension and you go to that website. So say you go to IGN.com and you click that button and it'll start pulling up email addresses of press. So emails are easy to find. A lot of press put it on their Twitter feed or on their Twitter channel. So, paying for email addresses in a database is sort of also, we're beyond that. Like you can find email addresses, build your target list, populate it, and then, get that prepared. Second is, of course, with content creators. Go out there for number one, use our search engine. Go to woovit.search and search based on keyword. Start pulling up content creators that come up as relevant. Try to watch some of those videos, make sure that it is relevant, and build out your target list there. Now, of course, like those are gonna be your top targets. Might have 50 or 100 of it. Again, try to dig up some email addresses using various formats. A lot of them put it on Twitter. And in the future, as I mentioned about the proactive offers, we'll bring that ability to allow you to reach out to them. But now you have your media list, you have your press list, you have your separate influencer list. Now think about, how can I create value for these guys? For press, it's things like previews. They will write a good preview for you, or if you go to events, pitching press those values of your game in a very short and concise way. Invite them to meet with you so you can give them a demo. And before launch, it's about 2 weeks before you launch, you got to get the keys in their hand. Get your keys from Steam or from the platform holders. Start pitching and getting those keys in their hands under embargo for launch day, and so they have time to actually review it. Similarly for content creators, but a different value prop. You have to look at whether or not their audience is a good fit for your game. And for them, get keys in their hands, I think several weeks before the game launches. But, since they're not necessarily doing, critical analysis of your game, they're really just kind of playing it for their audience and enjoying it. You might actually let them run it maybe a day or two. That is a strategy to consider, just so you can help maybe build up a little game when it launches. But otherwise, having that embargoed for launch day as well is totally acceptable. Otherwise, same thing. Events, get your game in front of them, start pitching them, demoing the game for them, all of that. So that's the PR element. And before I get too long-winded here, I think just to wrap it up with Woovit can be used in a strategic way like that. So especially with content creators, Woovit is the way to simplify it. So we're not trying to remove the human element of it. You have your list of 100 content creators that you want to target. You got their email address. Write your beautiful pitch with a great headline that they're going to want to click, a very short, concise value prop of why they should check out your game in your email. Include your campaign link that you published via Woovit and say, this is where you get your key. You don't have to email me back, which might be 6 hours later, which I might then get to maybe 12 hours later and then respond and I finally get you the key. The transactional element of getting them a key, that doesn't build a relationship. Creators, press, they're getting keys by the dozens every single day. What builds relationships is not only you delivering the key, but then afterwards following up with them. Hey, did you enjoy the game? Or meeting them at events, inviting them to events, having coffee, talking about what their interests are, all that good stuff. And we are looking at also getting press on the platform, both bloggers as well as the bigger guys. It's a different way of validation. Press aren't validated through APIs like you can with the video platforms. So it's a bit more of a complex problem that we're looking to solve. We're having a lot of discussions about that now. But that's kind of the process, soup to nuts, that I think any indie can execute, and you should build out a timeline of doing. And there's plenty of friends and consultants out there who can guide you on that and give you feedback on your pitch. And we at Woovit, there's that chat on the bottom right when you get to the website. Ping us, ask us for a little help on it. We may do a consulting offering on an hourly basis or something down the road, but for now, we're willing to help. We're willing to give you little bits of advice on that. Us coming at it from a PR agency perspective, especially that's incubating the platform, such as myself and others that behind support. Don't hesitate to ask, and we'd be happy to help.
Yeah, I'll plug our services. So, doing exactly what you just said is something that the Powell Group does. Mm-hmm. which obviously we're affiliated with for some reason. But that's something we can help you with as well. If you just need somebody to, go through and help you do your press pack and then identify or even manage the stuff for you, that is something we do on the site if you need it.
Exactly.
So if anyone else has got questions, throw them up in chat, or you can. I put the link to our Discord up there a few minutes ago. You can join our Discord. Quinn is there. All of our show guests are right there for you to ask questions with. And then the other new thing that we've got going on, and we're in the process of rebranding it as well. But if you're an indie dev and you want to get more exposure for your games, we are now using the Indie Army as a co-sharing, cross-promotion type tool. So it's
Twitch
only
team.
For
Twitch.
Yeah, it's a Twitch team. It's only for indie developers who have a channel dedicated for their company. Whether you have one game or 20 games, send us a note, let us know, and we'll get you added to that. So we can help a little bit of that discoverability along the way. Yeah, and so and Quinn just said that Woovit's got
Discord.
So there's plenty of places for you to find this information and to get help doing it. And that's what we're all here doing. We want you to have that knowledge to go and do it yourself.
Yeah. And there's fun things like Indie just wrapped up 12 days of Indie, which was fantastic, and we participated with some product giveaways and stuff there. But that's the thing, like things like that you may not be thinking about in advance. That comes around in November if the timing aligns. That could be a great opportunity for additional visibility as well if you're struggling to get in front of people, just building awareness. There's these guys can give you advice on that, as can we over at Woovit.
So, Indy, do you have more questions? Do you have anything else you want to?
I do not have any more. Did you want to talk about Triple Point at all, or?
Yeah, I think I gave the lowdown there. We started out as Conky Communications, been in the business since 2002. Jay, you mentioned having known Rich Kane somehow, and probably goes back to the Conky days, I'm sure. But, we're one of the leading PR agencies in the business, largely focused on earned media and more of a strategic approach that we're very proud of versus just another shop that just spams, commodity media lists. So watch out for those types. We have some great clients that we count on. Paradox has been a long time running client of ours, coming up on 15 years. We represent the Pokemon Company International, Daybreak Games, big and small, mobile, all platforms. Games is our bread and butter with select work and technology as well, wherever it really hits our sort of passion points. Check us out. We're at triplepointpr.com. I think Woovit is sort of a validation of how we think and how we sort of approach the business and how it's really changing. Media itself has changed significantly, not just in the last 20 years, the last 10 years, last 5. And we have really shifted, I think, successfully to address creator relations as well. So we put heavy weight on that in addition to dealing with a lot of editorial press. And Woovit, we're super excited about. Like I said, it is a separate company. We're incubating it. We have other PR agencies, other PR pros and consultants and marketers and in-house people using it. It is a separate operation. It's just one that, we continue to drive from our experience as PR professionals and what those pain points are. And, we've got 8,300 content creators signed up so far organically. We've got over 400 campaigns currently running, all live campaigns, by the way, it's not just a storefront. These are actual campaigns you can qualify for and get keys for. So definitely check it out. And we're open to feedback. Use it and ping us if you'd like improvements or new feature ideas. Still very much bootstrapped for now. We're excited about proactive offers coming soon. Keep an eye out for that. But, we welcome everyone on and we welcome all questions and feedback.
Blaine wants to be on the front page of, I actually have some connections at Intimate Geek Nudes. I can probably get you on the front page of that if
Blaine,
you like.
We'll talk about your brand and what your key value proposition is to the folks over at IGN and its audience.
IGN Intimate Geek Nudes
I'm available for $500 an hour. We'll take that off.
We could probably put you on a nudie calendar for nerds. Nudie nerd calendar, right?
I think you're about to incite some brainstorming at the office.
There could be like a Woovit
2019 calendar with Snakes on the Plane.
You actually just shipped some updates this week that were totally based on community feedback. Nice.
Yeah, we did. I mean, so we constantly, especially both on the side, like how can we continue to optimize the experience for them? We're constantly fine tuning the experience. There's a lot of little tweaks and things that we do. You can learn all about this actually over at our blog. So if you go to blog.woovit.com, we continuously throw up updates there. We have our most recent newsletter up there that appears first, and frankly, we need to put a line break there. I got to talk to Snakes on a Plane about that, but just keep scrolling down, and we also do have categories, right? But as you'll see, Rich Kane posted some things on optimizations for the creator experience. We take feedback, any and all feedback, to make it better, to make it more fluid, more accessible, easier to use, whether it's sorting, filtering, how deliveries work, all of that, by making it a really great experience for content creators out there.
I found a bug.
Oh, did you?
Yes, I did.
What's please report that through the chat on the bottom right.
Okay. The chat. Okay. Well, I don't know.
And yeah, we'll fix it.
Can I just show it to you? So when I scroll down, watch. Scrolling.
I'm not on the stream. I've got the.
So when I scroll down, it gets to the bottom and it just immediately jacks all the way back up to the top.
Oh, okay. So what we did was we actually have a scroll ability on the campaigns versus the pagination of the past, so that you can continue to scroll down and it continues to load in an unlimited fashion. But something must be happening there. Maybe it's your browser cache or something. But yeah, we'll
your browser cache.
It's not a bug; it's a feature.
It's your browser cache, is what it is. It's not mine. It's yours.
Bounce you right back up to see more than featured campaigns.
Nice.
Yeah, but stuff like that
story.
reported. We have live support during normal working hours, and we have a full-time engineering team. We got a CTO who's fantastic, as well as we've got another engineer who does a lot of front-end work for us, and he's also great and very quick to work out all the kinks for us. So
many good games on there.
We're building lots of great games. We have the great filtering there for content creators through popularity, through the most recent, and we're looking at ways of optimizing well. But ultimately you can also just search for a keyword based on genre and or of a similar game, and you'll see results. So if you're more of a platformer type, toss in platformer and see what pops up. RPG, do the same, and you'll see results from those campaigns.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's it, Jay, unless you got anything else. Anybody else got anything in the chat?
I mean, this was awesome, Quinn. I appreciate it. And that's what we wanted to do was, not only further point out the fact that as an indie dev, you need to be going out and really seriously be thinking about PR and marketing for your game, but, to walk folks through, something like Woovit, because it's a wonderful, tool to help make your life easier as a developer.
Right.
And it's also, obviously for streamers as well. So, sign up from either side. If you're a streamer, it's going to help you. If you're a dev, it's really going to help you because it helps you find these people quickly who are qualified.
Right. Absolutely.
That helps both sides of the coin.
Woovit's free to use. Like I said, the pain points we want to address is you shouldn't be spending, days wading through inbound fake key requests. Are they qualified or not? Even just the email exchanges over the transaction of the key. Those are all things that you can automate with confidence. You're, like I said, you're not building relationships over those transactional bits. It's just annoying and it's taking too much time. You need to be more efficient, as well as being efficient on the tracking of those deliveries, so you can actually see if there's value in the production of the content, how it might be impacting your sales. It's something you cannot miss out on. You put so much work into your game. Even if you're a publisher, you're making promises to devs or your in-house development team that's putting their blood, sweat, and tears in it. And everyone wants to succeed. You want to make a little money, and the creator community is very important. You need to hit it at scale. You need to hit the mid-level guys as well. building up audiences. They have a community. Got to get the game in front of that community, hopefully drive influence. If the game's good, if it's right, of course, not all of them are appropriate. But, and then at the end of the day, talk strategy with consultants such as Jay and Indy and, even agencies like us. Don't be afraid to reach out. Triple Point, we're very open and honest about it. Like if you're an indie and you have very limited budget and for some reason the game, we don't feel confident getting results because you're launching in the middle of December, AAA season, and it just doesn't look as like it can compete, we're going to tell you. We're not going to take it on and just take your money to deliver zero results. We have a brand and a reputation to uphold. So look into the agencies that you're talking to, make sure they have a good reputation, and start having those conversations early, a year before you launch, latest 6 months, and start doing your planning, your research, all that stuff. Build your own media list, all that good stuff. And think about how platforms like Woovit can really be baked in to optimize your process. So you have time to do the more important work, the strategic stuff. And frankly, building media relationships by having more real conversations, not just exchanging keys over email. So
awesome.
don't hesitate to reach out to either side of us, Triple Point or Woovit.
Making your game as well. So
Yeah.
it's all about saving time and money when you're
focusing
small.
on shipping your game. Yeah, but
exactly.
that's only the beginning of it. And we're moving into more of a service-based business model. More and more games have such long tail opportunities, DLC and all that good stuff. It's another thing we support is DLC too, especially if it's a Steam game. You can actually qualify not just on ownership, but if they've played the base game X amount of hours. So Stellaris Megacorp, if a content creator has played Stellaris for 10 hours minimum, then you can do cool stuff like that with the platform as well. And we hope to be doing more as we continue building it out next year.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Thank you, Quinn.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Appreciate you having me on. It was a lot of fun.
So, Indy, you're the one that always has to keep track of our announcements. Do we have any announcements? We've got people, of course, I don't have our schedule up yet for next week, but we do have people lined up. We're just waiting to figure out who's going to be on which day. Anything else?
Sub to the YouTube. You could check out a bunch of every single past video from Indie Game Business, and you can there's also Jay's got a bunch of curated playlists as well, right, Jay, on the YouTube?
Yeah, we go through and when we find relevant, good, recent lectures from whether it's GDC or Casual Connect or PG Connects or any of the other dozens and dozens of conferences out there, we put those in that playlist so you don't have to go and search through 16 different sites to find it. If you want to see a selection of conference lectures on indie game marketing, there is a playlist for that. And so that's another tool we've got out there for you.
Yeah, never stop learning.
Exactly. So can you find us somebody to rate on, Indy?
Yeah, let's have a look here. There's no. I guess in the science and technology. Is that where we're looking?
I just look on game development.
Game development. There we go. All right, let's see. We got programmers, coding cafe. Let's build a trivia bot. Programmer on Twitch over here. All right, let's raid this dude right here.
Our complicated search process.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there we go. We're gonna raid that dude, and we have, if you sub, we have this emote right here, which everybody wants one, and you want to use it on every channel ever.
Follow us, tell your friends. We're here to, help educate teams.
Yeah.
Learn some of the business stuff that you can't learn anywhere else.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys. Thanks, Quinn. We're gonna raid. I'm gonna press that button right now. Ready? Bam.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks a lot, guys.
And we're raiding.